This is the Can We Talk podcast, episode 32. As always, I have my co-host, Brittany Hill.
Hey.
And Raven Brown.
Hello. And tonight we have a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Anna. Not how you introduce yourself. Just like he said our names. That's what you're supposed to say your name.
Hey, we're going to keep all this.
Because you were going to say her name.
All right. This is our special guest, Bella.
Hi. My name is Anna.
All right, guys. This is one of my friends, Bella.
I am gang. My name is Annabelle, and they call me Bella. I'm from Austin. I am your future realtor. I will be selling $1 million houses in California.
Awesome.
But right now, I'm just, dibbling and dabbling into what I like. And you can call me like a mediocre socialite, So, I'm just
Speaking to
here.
the mic, though.
I'm here. And it's stuck and it's up, like he just said.
I guess I'm up and it's stuck or something different.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got. I like dogs, so yeah.
Tell us more about
person.
you. Tell us more about you. Tell us exactly who you are. You can give that cookie cutter example, but let's talk about you.
All right. So I am a hot mess, and I feel like I own it. I'm a Gemini. Save all the booze. But, I feel like I'm very within myself. I feel like I'm very comfortable with myself. You may have seen me partying or, the party, the life of the party, or you may have seen me like, the fight of the party. And
you do both?
Yeah, it's just, I'm just very in tune with my emotions. So I was just like, let me go on this podcast because I learned a long time ago not to go on social media, learn the hard way. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is a time where I could probably express myself in any and all ways. And if people want to join in, then they can do it that way because I feel like I have a following and I feel like, they're there for me, whether they hate me or love you, they're gonna be there. So I'm just trying something new, and I want to venture into YouTube, and I want to be something like not an influencer, because don't follow me, but just you
want to encourage people to be who they are and live their truth and
and I've always been told I have like a certain energy that what I'm saying, so I feel like people enjoy me regardless of I feel like people will realize a lot about me that I haven't realized about myself, so I'm just in one of those transitions where I'm just dabbling every single talent that I probably have. So
I'm definitely a fan of your TikToks.
Yeah, I'm up there. I just got 5,000.
Look at you.
So it's baby steps, and it's just I like to express myself. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, but I will not stop.
So if someone were to ask you what is your story? What do you feel like your story is? Like, what has shaped and molded you into, this person and this light and this aura that you have about, what brought you to who you are today?
Right. So, I am...
Good or bad?
Yeah, good or bad. Just what brought you to...
It's going to be a lot of bad.
What's your story?
My story is I was born in Austin, but I do not have American parents. So my upbringing is different, whether people, think so or not, but it really is. And my mom was born in Haiti. Dad was born in Nigeria. They both came to America. So, inside the household, it was more like, you're taken care of, but there's lack of emotion and love,
Got you.
So me growing up, I feel like my relationships, I probably went towards them for emotion. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person to stick through things. So I've been through a lot of toxicity because of not giving up, because I will feel like, you know what I'm saying? So
you yearn for that. You yearn for what you didn't get.
Some people like to go for money. Some people like to go for, their career.
Yeah.
Some people live for love. So my generation, I just feel like sometimes I'm not meant to be here because, if you touch me, we need to get married. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's exactly what I did.
Oh, okay. So you've been married.
Yeah.
Or you are married.
I am. I'm going through a divorce right now.
I'm sorry to hear
and, over the years, it was a lot of now that I'm realizing, you know, I felt like they were the only person for me. Like I said, you know, my mom and my dad, they don't show emotion, but, you know, they love me.
Absolutely.
Of course. They're like, you know, you always have a house and a cover, you know, and a plate of food to have. But, you know, it wasn't enough for me growing up. So I feel like she kind of, you know, worked that in to manipulation of, like, you know, I'm the only one in your corner. And so I stuck with it. So no matter what is toxic or not, and a million people, Raven, you're my friend, you've seen it a bunch of times, and I'll leave a bunch of times because it's not right, and then you go back because you just feel like not giving up. You feel like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I have a lot of years, not wasted, but probably, you know,
Learning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it very young because I'm only 26 and I'm married at 23. I'm the type that, like, you know, if I meet you today, next month I might get your tattoo, your name on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I am a sporadic person. I will marry you, you know what I'm saying? Because it feels good.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll wake up and be like, you don't feel good.
Yeah.
And then I'll leave or something like that. Like, I'm a very, like, I guess now a gypsy because I'm just, like, moving with the wind, I guess. But
I like that.
I've learned a lot more. I've just learned I'm 26. I'm done with, like, you know, I don't want to be
So how
40
long?
doing
How
it.
you said you married at 23? So y'all been married 3 years?
Yes.
Okay.
It was, I'm not gonna, it was abusive. So it wasn't like, you know, I didn't make the popcorn right, so she hit me. But it was like, you know, her fear of me leaving maybe. Like, you know, I'm not gonna give her an excuse for it. Because my family never understood, because I don't fight my siblings, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think my brother pushed me one time outside and I was 7 and I called the cops, you know?
Yeah.
Or I'm steady calling my mama because, like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
So nobody understood, and, like, I kept going back and back, but I looked at that, like, as love, you know, or passion, because she would do anything to get me back. But it's just, like, people like that don't need to, they show your love because they're scared to lose you.
So, do you know? I'm sorry, guys. If y'all have questions, I'm not. Gonna
No, go ahead.
Get in your bag. This is the first time we had someone else who's been married in the.
Oh yeah, I'm divorced.
Apparently, me and Calvin know everything because we
Y'all
haven't
know
been
everything
married.
about marriage, and to be the single one, you know, mostly talking all about the
I
marriage.
know. I should have been a
Yeah,
therapist.
no. But do you feel like now? Because I and we've all been through toxic relationships, not just marriage, but
Right.
been through
Could not
toxic.
do that right now.
Been through toxic relationships, and I feel like a lot of times when you're in it, like in the middle of it, like before you get to your breaking point, there's a lot that you don't see, you know, because you're in it, right? So now that you're coming through it, right? You're about to come out on the other side. Do you feel like a lot of the issues that your spouse has goes back to maybe some trauma that she experienced when she was young or went through prior to you? Do you think that's why she does the things that she does, because of something that she experienced prior?
For sure. So I noticed me growing up, I guess, like, you know, out of high school, I had to look around, like, you know, I told you I have a different upbringing. So, like, the lights come on, or there'd be a slumber party at the bottom of my street, and, like, my mom would let me go, and I would think that she fell asleep, but she'd be there at 11 p.m. and be like, no, we're going to walk up, you know, because they had a brother, or they had a husband or anything. Like, I didn't get to do any of that, and my brothers did, so I, you know, had resentment of that or anything like that. I probably rebelled when I was in high school, but a lot, almost probably 80% of my friends have been touched before. And I have not been touched before. And like I told you, I've not been, like, in, like, brawls or before. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have that type of trauma, and she does. And which I've noticed. But I also noticed that, like, you know, she's older than me. She's also been through a lot of other toxic things. That was my first thing, you know what I'm saying? So after the first time, you know, I went back. But I feel like she also has a daughter that she wasn't disciplining. So it was just, like, a lot of frustration that you could beat me, but not your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even flick her on the ear. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, like, a lot of resentment that I gained, but she has resentment for me because every time I leave, but the way I'm leaving is while you're at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just, like, you know, it didn't match. And I had to notice that some people will not, they will like you for who you are, and then they will try to take it away. So, like, I'm a very social person. I tried to tell you, like, you know, I'm very, you know, open. I love to smile. Yes. And people notice it. I have, like, a lot of random people. That's how I have a following, because people follow me because they just, like, they tell me on the street, and they're just like, you're supposed to be, you know, you shine so bright.
Yeah.
And she just hated it, or she got insecure of it, you know? Like, and it's just like, you know, I could get, like, a a video. I could be a model for a video, and it was simply I had all my clothes on. I was just the main girl, just sitting, you know. And it's just like, well, do they know that you're married? And you know what I'm saying? Of course they do. They, you know, I'm proud about my marriage. Y'all don't know me, but I would flood it with us. So it was just like the last thing I can do is marry you, and if that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what else I could do for you, you know. And it was just like I can't stop. I had to learn that I'm supposed to be a lot bigger. I was away from my friends. She moved us to San Antonio, and like every time I came to Austin, it was an issue because, you know, maybe an ex was around or people shook hands with an ex, but it's just like, it's Austin.
Yeah.
We
everybody knows everybody in Austin.
Man, and she had a problem. It's just like, you know, that's where
she's not from here.
No, she's from Houston, but she was in Austin when I met her. But like, she just doesn't understand that, like, you know, a lot of stuff is just, you can't hold a chip, or like a lot of people that supported me, she turned it and manipulated me to thinking that they're just haters or they just like the drama or something like that. But a lot of people would just be worried, you know what I'm saying? Just be like checking on me, and it's just like, it was a lot. I went through a lot. I left a lot of times.
You feel like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So what, because I've known we probably all had our breaking points to where enough is enough. Right. What was yours? What was that deciding factor? What was that moment when you decided, like, I can't?
I probably left like probably 3 times a year. So, and I probably went back because I probably felt like, you know, at the end of the day, you make your house with somebody, you make your home. At the end of the day, I'm leaving it, so it's a certain vulnerability of like not having a place, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like I let her in charge of a lot of stuff. And so at the beginning of the relationship, she did kind of take me from somebody, and it was an ex that kind of hangs around my group. And so we had a lot of back and forth because, you know, once you take some, you know, there's closure that wasn't done. Yeah. And I know that probably, you know, scarred her, but there was a time where we agreed that we would just move on and let it all go. One New Year's, I think it was last New Year's, and I took it to heart, and I honestly wasn't doing anything. And she, like I said, her past trauma, she honestly is, I do feel like she's sick. So when I would tell her to get therapy, she'll promise it, but she doesn't follow through. Mm-hmm. She promised a lot of stuff to give me, and honestly, you're right, a lot of childhood things, a lot of things within, you know, themselves, like they always think they have an enemy. And I'd be like, my friends don't give a damn about relationships. We go outside to have fun, have a drink or something, you know? So it's just like, we don't care. And they're just like, no, they're laughing at me. No, it's simply they know that you've done wrong, or they know that you've been abusive to me, and they're still accepting you because they love me. Mm-hmm. They're my friends, not yours. So around my birthday, like, you know, I was going through, and I just firmly believe if somebody picks a fight with you on an important day, they don't really support you. And it just always happens. So, you know, around my birthday week, So I tried to do something, and I was at my friend's Ron's house. Mm-hmm. And so we had a big brawl there. So we had a boat party, and that's all my friends, and she wants to be around them so she could prove something. But I was just like, you can't come. I had to start cutting her off stuff. I bought her a ticket to Cali for my birthday, and it was with my girls, and I was just like, well, you can't come. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you have to start not punishing, but just realizing, like, you know, your actions and how toxic you are, like how you look like a body. You know, you're not enjoying. You're just there to, like, supervise me,
observing and watching.
And it's just like you make people uncomfortable, and it's just like after a while I was doing my last day of my birthday, and like we were driving, and so she beat on me or whatever, and so it was like visible. So on Taco Tuesday, I wasn't gonna leave her. I was in San Antonio. I was just gonna come to Austin, and she threw a cow. She was just like, you know, you can't leave. I don't feel like it's right because we're not good. And it was just like, you know, the least you could have did was probably let me go because, you know, I'm going to my mom's house, you know. And so I had to call the cops, which is kind of where I resonate with the baby, because it's just like I had to have that mediation. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And it's just like, I have to. Somebody has to be there to mediate me leaving. Mm-hmm. And so I even leave, and the cops failed to like make her wait, so she finds us on the highway and she rams us off. So
are you serious?
Yeah, she rams up on us. She stops in front of us in the highway, and then she like rams us from the back. It was our newer car, we had 2, and then we exit luckily, and then like she rams us, so like her car gets totaled. Thank God, like we just had like a bumper, and that's a friend that came down from Austin. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, they went through all that too. And then that was in June. And what did I do? I went back because of, like, you know, I guess I like panicked. and felt like everything wasn't happening because I came in the summertime and everything's like $1,800. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have a plan. I just know to leave. And honestly, I met somebody that was my friend, and they've always been in my gang, but then like I honestly like met them, and they honestly were just like, they had a different upbringing. Like, you know, they also had foreign parents, and they were really just my friend, and we just formed a bond, you know what I'm saying? And they just had me know my worth. And then I went back, and she hated me for that, because when she separates, she goes to just have fun, or maybe like she'll get with people and she doesn't, you know. But me, I don't do casual sex. I don't do fuck buddies. I don't do nothing. I don't play with myself like that, because I know I'm a little, you know, off in the head. So she knew when I connected with them, she was more intimidated. So when I came back, she like belittled the hell out of me, you know. And that's when I just left the gang. It was just like, you know, you hate me too much. Like, I used to say for the past 2 years, you don't like me. Like, you don't like what I want to be, how happy I am. Like, you don't like me. You're my biggest hater, you know? You can't be happy for nothing. If I would have did this podcast today, she would have been like, well, who's the guy? And it's just like, I married a woman. No, it can't be common. It can't be common, because I have shown nothing that I'm having sex with men.
Yeah.
I don't have a child.
Yeah.
I have 0 kids. I have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
And I was a stepmother, but it didn't come from my vagina. So it's just like, you know, put some respect on my name.
So she wasn't insecure about women. She was insecure about men?
She was insecure about all of
anybody.
it. She was insecure about all of it, but I have certain subjects that I can't argue about. I can't entertain. So if you're going to put me on a man, I can't entertain that. I don't even have the energy to, because like the disrespect for you, and you went through something to where you have a child, you know?
Yeah.
Not going to get into that, but you have a child, and you are, she's a dominant. She's like a stud. They call it stud. So like,
oh wow.
And I married you. I put my last, that's the last, you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
What else can you do? Like suicide for them with a note saying I love you? That's the last thing you can do. So it's just like, it was highly disrespectful. And it was just like, you know, I can't have somebody that wants to rain on my parade every time and be like, well, who is it? What is it? No, just be happy for me, because I'm supposed to be great. I feel it, you know? People feel it. And I just limited myself so much. So much. I remember I was supposed to do the podcast sometime last year. I was supposed to do a lot of stuff, you know? And it was just like, you know, she made me uncomfortable to branch out. But it was just like, you loved me for that. You know, you caught my attention. So it was just like, I just realized I wanted more. I turned 26, and I realized that she didn't really make me happy, like as a friend. I started being around other people, and every time I came to Austin, I started realizing how happy I was, but she was scared I wouldn't come back, because I'm not materialistic. She'll cut off like a phone, or she'll, you know what I'm saying, she'll try to hold things, and I'll just leave with nothing. I've done it before. So she always gets scared, and it's just like, why would you be scared if you were doing, you know, if you were really on my side? But she was scared because she knew that she wasn't a good person, but it'll always be my fault. But I don't know. I think she needs help. Yeah. She never just gets it, and I hope that she gets it, because it's not here to bash her.
Right. I hope she gets the help that she needs as well. And, and kudos to you for, you know, leaving a toxic situation, because sometimes it's hard, and sometimes people on the outside looking in can say, oh, are you with that person, or you should leave. And, and there's different dynamics to the relationship. It's not always easy to walk away.
Right.
So, you know, no matter how many times you went back, you know, I'm happy, and congratulations to you for the space that you're in, and
feel really good.
You know, doing what you need to do to make sure that you're good. So I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
It feels good.
And it sounds like you just haven't had an outlet to just say all this.
Yeah. Because years ago, man, you should have seen me. She started going off at the lip. I'm going on live. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't going off. I'm writing paragraphs. Look at what she did. And then, like, I had to learn, once we got married, it was just like, oh, keep it in your marriage. But then I had to fight something that was just like, you know, how do you keep something in your marriage if it's domestic? Or if it's unhealthy? You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that would embarrass her was the cops. Or online, you know what I'm saying? Or if I'm taking a video of her, because she's, you know, she's passive aggressive. In public, she's just quiet, you know what I'm saying? She likes to dress good, and she's crazy as hell inside. So it's just like, that was me.
That was your, in a way to look at it, that was your, yes, but that's also your protection.
Right.
Because a lot of the times when you're in an abusive, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, some people are just not going to believe what you say unless you have to, like, in a way, I know it sounds crazy, in a way you have to show people, like,
Yes.
this is what I'm going through, almost as a way of, like, throwing things in their face, like, hello, I'm, like, here,
Or
like,
cry
help
for
me.
help.
Which
Yes.
is really redundant and really ridiculous that you have to show proof
Yes.
that you're going through some bad shit.
And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna act like I'm a saint. Like I said at the beginning, I said I'm a hot mess. I'm a Gemini. I'm loud. I'm Haitian. I'm Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm vocal. There's nothing passive aggressive about me.
Yeah.
I can drink, and if I have an issue with you, I see you outside. I want to talk about it. Then now I know from that point on, if it's you being salty, then I know I got it off my chest. But I'm never one to hold it. So I'm not gonna act like I didn't provoke her. But I've never sat there and had somebody, like, you know, close fist punch me like they're fighting a man or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like any of that was necessary. And it was just like, you know, it doesn't happen every day. So, like, that was her way of saying, like, man, I don't hit you or whatever. And it's just like, it just happened in June. And something escalates, you know, where she gets loud and then, like, she gets mad, I call the cops. But it's just like, you know, you can't say you don't. Like, she doesn't really take accountability the way she does, because she doesn't do it anymore. She doesn't do it in the past months. But it's just like, you've made me, like, you know.
But that's still no way for you to live, is that you don't know when it's going to happen.
Right.
So just
Yeah.
because it happened months ago doesn't mean that you don't. Who's to say that we don't have a disagreement and you get
Something
triggered?
happened.
Yeah.
And that
Exactly.
that trauma sticks with you. It does. That's not something
Yeah,
that goes
and
away.
you can't just sleep it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I was in San Antonio. I didn't really, all my family and friends are here. So, like, you know, we wrecked the second car. Like, she has the car, whatever. And, like, I'm a person, once I'm in love, I don't really care. So if we get something, like, you know, I didn't necessarily put my name on the apartment. And that was okay with me. And, you know, we have to set up the Wi-Fi through the apartment. We had to get the password set up, and she saved it on her phone. I didn't really think of anything to set it up through mine or anything like that, you know? But she'll do things like, when we had phones, I can't even have the same phone line with her because, like, you know, if I'm out and I get mad, she'll turn it off. But it's just like, you know, at that point, you don't care about me and my safety because you, like, you know,
It's just a way to control you.
Yeah, she'll turn off the Wi-Fi, or she'll, like, you know, she'll tell me that she'll lock me out if I leave. Like, she'll change the locks, and it's just like I stayed there for like 2 weeks, and she's just talking really, 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 really bad to me. It's just like, you know, but well, then why do you want me here? You know, or like, you just, if you're so hurt, then. And she's not a saint. Like, you know, during our separation this summer, she's probably talked to multiple people. It's just like, I probably talked to one, and I think her way of putting me down or putting that person down, like, you know, she was better. But I think the only reason she got mad was because she honestly knew the impact they probably had on my life. Or she honestly knew I was in Austin, like, probably getting the support I needed. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, at the end of the day, she asked me, she was like, you're going to throw away 3-4 years of marriage for somebody that you've been talking to for 1 to 2 months. And that's what made me try to go back and fix it. But it was like, fuck yeah. Like, you can't put a time on, like, somebody who's supportive. Like, you can't, hell yeah. And it was just like, that stayed in my mind. I was just like, well, of course I'm not. Yeah. And it's just like, I'll be damned. Like, I can say this. I don't go to jail, but I've had my drunk nights where I've done an overnight and get out in the morning. You know, I've done like 23 hours.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, doing that, you actually have people in the holding cell that actually tell you stories. And so the last time around my birthday, like, and it was older women, and it was just like them going through stuff, and I got out of jail, and I looked at her, and I was just like, I cannot, like,
can't do this
I'll
anymore.
be damned if I sit there, and 20 years down the line, we're still doing the same things.
Yeah.
Man, these women were scoring and they were already too deep in it, and you know, their records were too deep in it, and I'm sitting here like learning, and that's all I could do is learn, because they had real life situations. Some people have real life situations, and if I can get out of it now, then girl, fuck you.
It's almost like telling you, look, this is what your life could be if you don't get your shit together right now. It's basically like what they were telling you.
That's crazy.
You know, I feel like I'm spiritual, but I feel like,
Brittany in her bag right now, because like, just because like you have like a parallel, like the San Antonio, you in your bag right now, and I love it. So keep going.
I was just gonna say, I feel like, you know, even in the moments that, you know, in the moment it probably felt like, damn, I'm in a bad situation, but I feel like God can use any situation. So like, it was like divine that those people talk to you in that moment. You know, you're sitting, you know, sitting your time out or whatever, overnight or whatever. So on the outside, it was like, damn, like bad shit's going on, but in that moment you were aligned with somebody or people to tell you their story, almost like a
and she didn't
moment,
understand when I got out. She was just like, "What are you talking about?" And I was just like crying. I was like, "I can't." I mean, I was like, "I can't do this." She was just like, "What?" And honestly, like, it's just she honestly was somebody who dogged a lot of people in life. So, you know, she looked at me as karma because, you know, it didn't work out, but because she dogged a lot of people in life. But she would honestly do anything for me. And she would honestly make anything happen for me. You know, she would, like, if I say I want to move or something, she's going to make it happen, but that's not necessarily love.
I feel like it's also, it's also a way to control you and manipulate you.
Or she's like, look what I did. Right. And it's just like, girl. But it was, you know, I didn't have that with my family. But it's not that I didn't have that with my family. I simply had to come home this time, and like I told you, I had my friend, and they just, you know, they remind me that they came to America for a better life. There's no way I should be going through this. And they finally took me to my sisters in Killeen, and like I spent time, and it's just like, yeah, I think I just had like a shame, because a lot of times, like, I have brothers and sisters, and one brother doesn't even mess with me. One time he wanted to go beat her up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people in my family that aren't understanding. They're just like, you know, let me go talk to her. You know what I'm saying? They go drive down to San Antonio each time, get my things, and I go back, and it's just like, I guess I was like, you know, when I'm depressed or something, I don't like to go around them because I don't want to talk. I don't want to be like the disappointment, but it was honestly like the best thing I could have did. And just like, maybe I couldn't relate to my mom and my dad when I was in high school or middle school, but me as an adult now, like, you know, they give me all the encouragement in the words, you know what I'm saying? And they give me, you know, I can see the love more as an adult. So, like, you know, I was just misled because of the belittling, because of the manipulation of like, only I can do this for you. And it's just like, whenever stuff gets hard down here, because, you know, you're leaving everything. When I leave, I don't get a U-Haul or anything like that. I take my bags of clothes and what's important to me. Yeah. And I did, because I'm not materialistic. I can replace clothes all the time. So it's just like, you know, I find it hard and I run back home. But it's just like, you know, I had to stop that. Because I had to be like, you know what, you don't know what it could be unless you just actually, like, pursue it and, like, you know, fulfill it. So it's just like, how would I know that I could be happier somewhere else if I don't stay away, you know?
Yeah.
And she's... I was going to say she's not a bad person, but I honestly think she is. But I think she can be great for somebody else that probably didn't give her the damage she thinks I gave her.
And like you said, she probably needs
therapy.
And to heal from past things. Even prior to you.
Yeah, well, I had to do my own damn healing.
Yeah, she's the type that does, like, spiritual, though. Like, you know, I'll leave and, like, she thinks she cures it because she, like, goes hiking more. Or she, like, drinks the detox water and, like, she does the, you know,
but she's not doing that for herself.
Yeah, she's doing that
to look better and to manipulate you
to come back.
Come back good and everything. It's just like, ugh.
And a way to think about it is, you know.
And there's a level of stillness. This is a conversation I had with Raven at some point without this process, right? The level of stillness to where you don't need to actually impress that person anymore. Yeah. Right? And you, like, I've experienced that as a dude. Like, I had a situation that lived in this apartment, right? And after I was able to let that go, like, my level of stillness was so, like, pure, and I didn't have to. I care about that person, of course. Like, I have every right in the world to, like, protect that person, but, like, what their actions are never met who I wanted it to be, in the sense, right?
You wanted to believe it, though.
Yeah, I wanted to believe that was the person for me, but, like, their actions never met that. Yeah. And for the whole relationship, I'm, like, trying to pour into their actions, like, it's not just their actions
too. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I just feel like there's just a lot of, like, you know, transparency that didn't happen. And I feel like a lot of people with me, I do, like, if my social media, like, I post things and there's a lot of people that feel uncomfortable with approaching me, and that's the way I like it. So I post things, and I honestly made her seem like a really great person at first, you know, even if I knew that we were fighting, and I'm going to post a bouquet of flowers.
That's one thing, too, about that. Like, we've been friends on Facebook for I don't know how many years, right?
Yeah.
So I saw the progression, and y'all look happy.
Right. We look, because it's what I post. And no matter what, it doesn't even matter. A lot of people think I'm spoiled. A lot of people think that, I'm just giving anything. A lot of times I post something and they'll be like, oh, you're so spoiled. And it was probably me that bought it, But I would never make my dominant feel like, I'm more than, I want to, make them feel good. And it's not necessarily lying. It's just like, I'm going to post our good things. And it's just like, I feel like ever since I met her, I told her about my ex and I told her what she was lack thereof. And the next day, we went to Roadhouse because I probably told her that, I dated this girl and she just smokes weed and we never went on a date. And then, next weekend was Valentine's Day. I didn't expect anything from somebody new and she went all out. But then months later, she told me that was, probably her last $10. So it's just you made an expectation of me whenever you say sorry or whatever. You should do something, and then you put that in my mind. You made me a certain way, and then you get upset and you be like, well, I shouldn't have to do that. And it's just I never wanted you to, but you should not have lied to me. So all these times when she drinks the water and she goes hiking and she promises that she's better, honestly, if she was just you know what, Bella, I'm not okay. I don't have all the bills paid. I don't have this put together, and I'm not okay mentally still. And I do want to work on us. I probably still would have went back, but it's just the facade that she puts on. Yeah. I come back and I'm just okay, you want to get this, this, and that for me, and then when it comes to it, she gets really bitter, and I be wondering why, and it's just to be honest, I don't have it, and it's just I never asked for it, you know. And it's just I'm not even a materialistic person like that, and it's just I wish people didn't feel like they had to do that to impress you, and people don't. She did, because she was thereof of a real connection with me. She didn't really like me, I don't believe, and she didn't really have an energy that was as high as mine. So yeah, she did to replace that, and
almost to make up for the areas that she lacked in. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna she cooked every day. So it was just and it was just things she don't realize, and then she'll get mad and be like, I do this, and it's just I know how to cook. I know how to cook. Yeah. Girl, you just made me forget because you never let me touch the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So don't get upset because you already sending me Pinterest before you get home and you're already going to HEB. I'm not going to need to cook, but it's just don't do something for somebody and then just feel like you gave them the world because you should just want to do it. It was just it was a lot of replacements. It's just weird. It's just, you can't bring everybody up with you.
Yeah. I think now, because listen to your story, I mean, I know bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, you've seen that.
Yeah. I've seen it. I really honestly, I try to just mind my business.
I know y'all got tired after a while.
The one thing about me, I don't get tired when I see people because I just know, I have a feeling, I don't know, sometimes you don't even have to tell me, I can see it in your eyes, I can see it in your face, I can hear it in your voice when people are not okay. I think God just gave me this gift. But now I think about myself when I was in these situations, and I'm just no matter, even when you're telling me, Raven, be still and stuff, I just wasn't. I wasn't.
Why you say it like that? I was so rude. Be still, sit down. Jesus Christ.
No, I think I said it before. I was not in the mental state to accept that receive that information. Yeah. I was not in the no matter how much people are hey, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. My mom, she was telling me the same thing. Raven, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Every 5 minutes, why are you doing that? I don't know, because I can.
But I'm gonna go do it.
Right. So I was not in the mental state to receive that message. Right. So now looking forward, when I see people that I've let go, and I've let some good people in my life. Well, I thought, good. Of course, they're still good, but I think everybody has their issues that they deal with. That doesn't always come to light. But some best friends or ex-best friends that I had to let go, and now what I want from them is I realize I want them
some technical issues.
This is not a podcast if you're not having technical issues. Right. Now, okay, Satan, this is what I was trying to say. Right. So now when I see people that I let go, I don't want anything from them. I want them to do better for themselves, because I saw my faults in the relationship not to say that everybody has fault, but I saw my faults in the relationship
Everyone has
where
fault.
Everybody has. Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
Cool. So, like, just for instance, me and my ex-best friend, you know, I was, in a way, I felt like I was not encouraging her to do the things that she was doing because people are in charge of their own lives, you know. But in a way, like, I wasn't helping her. I wasn't encouraging her. And I should have been like, hey, let's do this. Let's do that. So now I'm working on myself, like, every bad aspect, every good aspect. I'm trying to improve myself and be better every single day. So that's kind of now my mindset. Like, I want you to be better for yourself.
I can kind of see, speaking from the outside, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not gonna. So I have seen you kind of shift, and then I've seen you transition, and I've seen you kind of, you know, I've seen you go through something in your life, and then you were just kind of sitting down for a while, and then you were changing. And I've seen you doing it, and then I've seen it daily. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you. And so I've seen you try. Sometimes you can't, not necessarily, you're not leaving anybody behind, but sometimes when you want to do something, you want to, you know, elevate on like a more clear, peaceful, like, you know, lifestyle and everything like that. Like, sometimes you can't bring everybody with you, and I have seen you, you know, try to be a positive light in people's lives, and sometimes they're going to take it or they're not, and you don't necessarily get rid of them or anything like that. It's just like, you know, you have to understand that it's just time for us to kind of like, you know,
love you at a distance.
Of course. And it's just like, you know, I think you did everything in a very healthy way.
Yeah.
Because I think you did it in a very, like, you know, out loud way. It wasn't like, you know, very like discreet, or you just like push it. You could see you changing all together.
Yeah.
It was just like, you know, you could tell like who was gonna attach to that and who wasn't. But at the end of the day, if you should decide to change, you cannot fault somebody. Everybody has faults, but you can't fault them for not being ready to change too. So that's just where you have to know how to separate.
And there was a quote that I saw maybe early on during the pandemic, but it said elevation requires separation.
Right.
So at sometimes you have to separate, you know, from certain things, certain people. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's something maybe that an activity that, you know, may not always be in your best interest. It's kind of, you know, just stopping you from staying focused on your focus.
Yeah.
I think you have to be. I think all of us. So, you know, I noticed it when there was like, you know, a night, and it was on 7th Street, the after hours in Austin, and somebody got shot and somebody died. So there was things that happened that night, and I had, you know, we have a mutual group, so it was just like there's things that happened that night that I feel like we didn't take that serious, and we were worried about the wrong things, and I feel like nobody in the group sat there and told certain people that, you know, hey, that wasn't the right time, or, you know, we didn't hold people accountable. And that's when I detached myself personally from the whole group, and it was just kind of like, I was okay with that at the moment, because it's just like, you know, we don't even care to like be good to each other. We care to like support each other's bad habits. We care to, and I understand we're young, we care to drink and everything like that. And I honestly think it took, for me, it was that shooting somebody died. I went to the gun range once, and I understand people were raised in Chicago, hear it every day, but I went to the gun shooting range once, and like each shot, and I know they have their lanes, and I'm like jumping and crying, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine," because I'm not used to that. So that was like a life-changing situation. And I feel like for you, it took you to kind of like sit down, get injured, and it was just like to realize like you can't go outside. So you had to live without it, but then you probably found like it was way more peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't even know what, y'all, I can't even tell you what day it was. I think it just hit me one day. Because definitely, I mean, I still was trying to, I was still on the pole in my cast.
And I remember talking to Raven. I actually DM'd her. We had a couple of like in-depth, you know, conversations. And early on, during one of our conversations, she was like, you know, I'm just frustrated, I'm stressed. Like she was itching to get outside so bad. You know, it was so funny. But then, like, you know, I was like, it'll be okay. You know, I was like, you know, maybe God is trying to show you something. You know,
like you did.
I got out.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you did, but you
a few
definitely
times,
shifted.
but
Yeah, a few times, definitely.
shifted.
But I feel like the bigger picture was you did get a sense of peace. That's not something that I have to do all the
Stillness.
time.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
bad. It's not the going out. It's what we do
Maybe
outside.
the influences and
we have a
the
lot. Everybody got bad
decisions.
It's allowing you to actually do what you want to do and not feel bad about doing what you're doing.
That's what I
Or
was doing.
actually feel bad what you're doing
Yeah.
and just know that you need to change.
like-
It's just your habits.
After, like after we would hang out, like I'm talking about the whole group, like after we would hang out, I would just, I feel so drained and I feel so
Empty.
sad, and I'm just like, why am I feeling this way? Like I'm surrounded by people that love me. Like why am I feeling this way? And then, after like, being in the house, I finally got out with the same people, like still in my cast. They took me out, came home crying. I was like, ah!
We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like you didn't feel the same way you felt before.
Yeah. And then one day it just knocked me like a ton of bricks. I don't know what it could have been, but I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can explain it was God, because I'm a strong believer in God. And the other thing, my mom, she told me, she says, I feel like God gives you two paths to go, and He gives you the easy one where there's lights and He'll walk you down the path, but sometimes we don't always choose that path. We have a choice. I chose the one that had rocks, bears, lions, oh my. And
There's the blue ocean that you didn't swim in.
I mean, even though like I walked down that path, I knew like in my head I still had hope and I still had faith that He was going to walk down that path with me, right? So now as I look back and I can go out and not feel not guilty, but not feel disappointed in myself. Like I'm not going out to just drink and forget about things. I'm not going out to just to get away from my issues.
Our group is me and Raven. So yeah.
We know the group.
Okay, so yeah, me and Raven
For the streets group.
Gang has a very, very like, I remember like, what I'm saying, like, so just like a recap or whatever, and it's just like, when she'd say like, I want to go to Austin, sometimes I wouldn't want to go with her because she looks stiff, and I would, I just want to be around my friends, but I realized that I was so depressed that I was going out to drink, and I felt I was surrounded by, these are true, genuine friends. I find nothing that I can't say I love you every day to them, but we weren't saying it. We weren't speaking about our feelings. We weren't anything. We were just coming out to drink, and I felt every time I was in the night crying, and it was just like, y'all kind of understood Bella's a mess, but it was just like, there wasn't something that was like satisfying. I feel like when you took that shift, and when I kind of separated and I got back into the little group chat or whatever, it was just like, I feel like, I feel like Cece was like, we'll do random check-ins. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were doing it on the status, and I feel like we came back.
Before you got here, she was here.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, she dropped me out. That's friend that made me realize. But yeah, so it was just like we had a lot. That's what I'm saying, gang. Like, I've known her for years.
It's all coming together.
Had I just known that she was around. We love now you're thinking naughty. We love it, as you should.
What are you down for?
No, but like we all shifted, and it was a lot of depressed people in our group. And it was just a lot.
So, and just kind of getting the background, you feel like everybody in the group was dealing with their own shit, right? And then it seemed like, and maybe the severity of it,
Not dealing with their
No,
own shit.
we weren't. Yeah, there's nobody in the group
well,
that
not
could sit there.
necessarily dealing, but everybody had their own shit going on at the time. So when y'all link up, it's almost like,
Fuck that shit.
But it's okay though.
Right.
That's
but
okay
not
to do.
necessarily a bad thing.
It was
but
though. I'm agreeing, but it was like it was bad because nobody is sitting there and saying like, "Hey, I noticed you're going through something, and I see you turn up every time, but you need to get your shit together." And there was nobody who was like, "Hey, you need to
holding each other accountable."
Yeah.
So it was like a link up.
And that's not friendship.
We're separating. We're leaving all the bullshit. We're gonna fuck up or get fucked up, so we don't have to worry about it.
Your boy knows the group, right? Like I just know a lot of people within y'all's little circle.
Right. Little. It's big and
Who licked my face?
Huh?
Who licked my face?
Who?
She's not in the group. Paris is
Paris is gay.
Oh yeah,
Paris
licked her
She's
face
in the
one
group
night.
too?
I saw her
Paris is
on her
getting
birthday.
down.
On her
I just
birthday,
happened to
she
be
licked
out.
her face.
She licked my.
And she's like, oh.
Paris, I think groped me around, and that was like around my birthday, and that's why Chris
Paris,
got
if you
like
listening,
mad.
don't be licking people's face.
No,
She's very asexual. She's straight. She's
real.
like, I'll be like, girl, I'm gay. Don't do that.
I don't even know what I am anymore.
No, but
She
I love
actually
that
was
song.
she was in the background of like episode 6 of the podcast like years ago. Like we used to have. But yeah, she was definitely
herself.
she was outside.
Definitely Paris.
She was a part of the process at that point. So guys,
I've even seen her calm down. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people
She's
get
funny.
sick of like.
So
their
you feel
shit.
like you guys kind of taking the lead on taking the step back?
We were
Has
an unhealthy group, and then we
But that encouraged everybody kind of like
accountability.
and they followed y'all's lead. Like
No.
I don't think it was a lead.
no,
I
this
think,
shit just happened.
no, it's not a lead. I feel like we took a step back, and sometimes that's enough for people to notice. Like, hey,
I think
you know what I'm saying?
I think everybody has
But
to have
you
their
feel-
breaking point.
So you don't feel like everybody has yet?
No.
No, but we're not. We're
They
not
don't listen. They're checking it twice. They're like,
I'll
nope.
be praying for them.
Okay.
There's people that stay inside nowadays. There's people like, hey, I'm not gonna drink today. There's people that aren't gonna like.
They ain't got a
like,
list,
yeah,
So it's not as toxic.
Y'all have not hit y'all list yet? Like breaking point? No.
No.
Breaking point?
So
no?
me and Larissa, like me and her, we talk like this, back and
know who that
forth.
is.
Me and my friend Larissa, my best friend.
That's
Hey,
right.
Larissa. So we talk back and forth like this, like, girl, you know, we vent to each other. We're like, am I losing my mind, or you know? So I feel like she's on that path to healing.
She even left. Yeah, everybody's
she left.
separated.
She went to
She left
Philadelphia.
the city.
So-
I left the state.
Okay.
I left the group. She left. And it wasn't just like, and that's what I'm saying. You can't tell a grown person what to do. So nobody
It's
can tell
kinda,
you
you
to
have to do
stay
it on your
away.
own time.
Right. You gotta
have to-
leave.
No one can tell you to leave.
But I like that y'all are checking in on each other though.
Yeah.
Like
Now we
doing-
came back. We're actually a whole group
You know,
now.
Like
I was
mental
scared at
health
one point with
check-in.
you.
We were separated.
When you were, remember, it was one night. You were screaming
I
at
took my feelings.
You screamed at the top
I
of your
was
lungs, and honestly, I was happy that you screamed at the top of your lungs in my car. I'm just like, you know what?
What did
Let
I
it
say?
out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even remember the situation, but you're like, what?
A lot of people
And
were
I'm
just
just
like, our group, they don't like to talk. So like,
But
when
tell
I
me why
come
V
out-
was. I'm telling you, V always know the tea. He was in the back seat.
Y'all telling people's business. Y'all
We
know
don't
that.
know. We don't know. I don't know. It's just like a lot of times I felt scolded for like having emotions, always crying outside. So it's just like I had to take a step back because my group.
Do you
was-
guys resent not like having the group start like that?
No, it wasn't our job. We came from very different groups to making a.
But
large
one thing I do have to say is it wasn't always about partying with us. Like we would literally be like, okay, let's go throw a barbecue, family barbecue.
But it was partying.
So yeah, but in a way,
Stop lying.
no, but it would turn that way. But like in the
Like, it
beginning,
wasn't
we would
party
be playing
before, it was
games.
But it
barbecue.
was all love, though.
Yeah,
Like,
we would have a movie night. We'd
Yeah.
have dinner. We'll go over there. But yes, it did always
It was
turn to
all
party.
love, but you just wouldn't know who had a problem. Like
Yeah.
I had a problem with one of my friends, Amber Hay, and it was just like I felt, what I'm saying, I felt away. So I told y'all when I go outside, I feel away, and I want to address it or something like that.
Yeah,
or I
yeah.
might say it, or like you fake. Or something like that, and it's just like I would expect you to just want to talk to me about it, but it's just like she didn't. But I had to grow up and realize, because my friend PJ, hey little big sis, that people are going through their own things, and I didn't realize that she was going through a point in her life that was something traumatic, and I didn't know that because we don't all
100%.
talk, right? And I was like,
100%.
you could probably be bitter, you could probably be I spiral, and sometimes I don't give a fuck how you feel, and I don't know that I'm not giving a fuck how you feel.
It shouldn't justify the way. If you're still going through something, this is what people don't understand. It shouldn't justify how you react to people. You know what I mean? It
Correct.
shouldn't. You shouldn't be like,
Especially if they're going out their way to communicate with you. Because I'm big. I don't go screaming at you like, what the fuck is your problem? But I'd be like, look. And then they get so frustrated because they'd be like, no, I'm drunk. Like, I think people don't want to ruin their,
their night.
their night and their energy high. So it's just like, it was a lot of like, you can't reciprocate it. And I had to learn because I would do it every time I seen it.
I think also a part of maturing is, like you said, knowing everybody has their shit. Like
Right.
usually, everybody is going through something, but also you have to understand that everybody is not going to approach situations the same way that you would. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you have to know when to stop.
Damn, that sounds like what I say all the time.
Yeah. Because I would like badger her. She'd be like, I'm good. I just wanted to have a real conversation with her. But give it a month and 3 weeks later, like, we're good now. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just like you can't expect whatever you wanted of somebody.
Right.
And I think I was dissatisfied with exactly like people's approaches, and I would do it over and over again. And then I end up crying. I cry when I'm mad, happy, want to fight, anything. But I would just be outside and I'd be like so frustrated. Like, why don't they hear me? And it's just like I had to learn, once I approach a conversation once, that was big enough for me. And if they still have a problem, that's on them. But I should feel released because I addressed it. You know I did. So next time I come in the room, I don't really feel like there's like people right now that block me for no reason. I'll never have the day. And some people will be like, what's gonna happen when y'all come in or when y'all are together? It's just like, y'all don't realize my energy, and I feel like my friendship is, my energy means more, and it's worth more to the group than a lot of other people. And so I'm gonna always feel comfortable because I feel like I'm valuable, and my energy and my jokes, I'm funny as fuck. So, I feel like I'm never gonna feel uncomfortable where I'm supposed to be, And the people who avoid situations and communication will
I'm not
always
looking
feel
at the camera like Raven.
They'll always feel uncomfortable, man.
Okay, period, poo. Like, don't you feel like you're talking to somebody? I am talking to you guys. I'm
gonna tell the specific people that I wanted to talk to on the topics. Like, read it, cause I'm looking at you. Why don't you want to talk to me? Ho. Just kidding.
So let's get into some topics. We literally haven't talked about a true topic this whole time.
Well, speaking of, it does go into it because
that's why I wanted to get this subject.
It does. We missed the segue. We missed the segue because you was earlier with the baby. How you go with it, right?
Yes.
So what I will say is, per what I saw, like if Shorty gonna be. You alright?
Shorty gonna, you say sound like you was gonna say
Shorty gonna be alright.
I might.
Just in that circumstance, like just off the rip, because no one really knows what the fuck's going on. Like no one really knows what's happening in that household. Right?
I don't even know.
That's
She's like the baby. Who's the baby?
The baby?
Go ahead with your thoughts.
But like there are situations where women do get kind of volatile. Like and you try your best to be like an adult and trying to like sway that, but if they're just gonna keep hitting you and you're not hitting them back, like put the camera on. Like it only makes sense.
Two opinions I have. Like you said, there's nothing, nobody will ever know. Two things. I ain't never had nobody, and me, I've been in divorce. I ain't never just woke up at 3 a.m. and was just like, let me call the cops and get this girl out. Something obviously happened that we didn't see. I think you said there was a video of her swinging or whatever like that, but nobody calls the cops just to be like a full asshole. I know she's a mother, but as a mother, maybe you should have just like, de-escalated it yourself because you know what's happening. And two, I know that she she posted a lot of pictures and stuff, and he didn't claim her. He posted a lot of pictures of them together and she was just like, what he bought her and everything like that. And it was just like, I read a quote today, and I'm not on the baby side because he did belittle her, and I went through a whole depression the last 2 months because of that in the same household. And so it's just kind of like, it doesn't matter what they buy you. It doesn't matter if they buy the same clothes. It doesn't matter if a man does not sit there and say the sentence like, I want to be committed to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're kind of choosing your own toxic situation because this isn't their first time being together off and on. So it's just like, I know you wanted to make your family work, but you knew what type of man you were going to be with. And like, I don't feel like this is their first situation. I think it was just their first outburst. And I know I feel for her, and I feel like she just has to take the L and move on. And I know that she's hurting, or I know that she's like, she really loves him because she's not broke. Everybody acts like, she acted like she was getting kicked out, but Shorty got money. Like,
which means also, right, like I don't see a situation that it started at 3 a.m., right? Because it was the 15th.
He said a week.
Some shit happened earlier, like on the 14th. So they just came out now with the shit that actually happened. So some shit happened on the 14th. Yeah. They called, he particularly called the cops because she was still there on the second day. So like he's doing what he's doing, still 3 a.m. And he's like, what the fuck's going on? Why are you still there?
She's not broke though, but he went on the.
And he's not kicking her out. He can't kick a person out, and that's not the case. But like he went on live for his own protection. Like as a man, that's
a lie. He went to belittle her. That's a lie.
On live?
We're not gonna. Yeah, he went to belittle.
I don't feel like
that's for his protection.
Nah, the baby killed somebody.
But you really don't think that like men get like destroyed off air
He
and then
didn't
like
bring up the cop. She went on live. She brought up the fact to bash him. He went on live and his live was saying that you've never been my woman. You are the side bitch.
We're talking about two different things though. We're talking about the situation and then the aftermath. So the situation could have clearly been her attacking.
No, yeah.
Could've.
I'm not negating that.
Right? So like if I'm cut on live, if I sit on live because of my safety and I'm $1 million, whatever amount of money he's worth or whatever, right? And I sit there and then I push you back because you hit me and she gets you pushing her back, I'm ruined. So at that point, now it's time to...
But like you said, though, that could have.
Right.
That's exactly the point, right? Like that could have happened, right? That could have happened. But the man would have got charged for that shit. The man would have got charged for that shit.
We're not disagreeing with you. We're saying that you're right. He doesn't. So a situation where the cops come and he didn't call, he would probably be forcefully accused. No, I agree with him. What I'm saying is he was right to call the cops. There's nothing that's wrong with calling the cops. There's nothing that you can bash and call the cops. So you should leave the baby. You need to get out. She wanted to bash him and be like, he wanted my 3 month baby. And it's just like, no, the baby probably looking at her like, bitch, you know, like I'm good. So like I could stay tonight, just give me tomorrow. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
baby having a boy.
The evidence is shown. It's him in the daytime. There's people there. The brother's there. Nobody's fighting. She looks stressed.
But do you not think that?
She looks stressed, and he's not on there to say for his safety. He's strictly belittling her.
But do you not think that's also something that he already explained to her, and she's still there?
No,
I'm not saying taking the baby away.
Pictures and they've been together. She posted all the
What's together?
They've been matching.
But I'm like, who's together? What's together? Define together.
Living together, matching clothes, on the yacht, kissing in the bed.
That's together?
Saying I love you.
That's together?
Matching clothes?
Taking family photos.
I put on that shirt that you got right now, we go together. You give me that shirt to put with you, we go together.
No.
Or take family photos.
No.
Have you taken family?
I've seen Negroes.
Have you bought a girl
I've only taken family photos with my husband.
I've seen
or somebody that
I've seen women
only
come together at Christmas.
So I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna agree with him because I did say that meme. I did say where it said doesn't matter what he buys you, doesn't matter what he does with you. It doesn't mean that we're together, but it does mean that he manipulated her and belittled her.
100%.
The word manipulate is to
make her feel like there's nothing, nowhere else
not
she
feel.
can go.
Manipulation is not feel.
To feel like there's nowhere else she can go. She's not.
It's due. Manipulation is due. So if he manipulated her to do something, that's different than
for a
feel
relationship
something
that he does not give a fuck about, and she felt like she had to stay there days to get cops called on her, and she's not broke. She can go anywhere she wants.
If that's the case, like manipulation is to
make you feel like you can't go nowhere.
That's not the truth. Manipulation is to make you feel that you can't do anything. You can't physically move around.
Word it how you want, and it's the same thing.
You're moving definitions around, my guy.
I feel like it's
she felt like she didn't have anybody. She felt like I need to
handle or control, typically in a skillful manner. That's what he did.
He
knew exactly what he was doing.
She wanted to fight for her. You know, he made her feel like
control or influence, cleverly, unfairly. Those are all the definitions of exactly.
And you feel like, and then you hear him in the video. He's saying like, you need to leave or whatever, and then she's saying like, the only reason they fought was because she had a plan B. It might not be true, but it was one of the fights.
Allegedly.
She had a plan B
delivered
to
the things
house.
that are
and
on the man's favor.
Last night.
Allegedly, always.
Yeah, but you're coming in her last night, so you're saying that
Always
she trapped
allegedly.
you, but you're coming in her.
But if the conversation is had, right? So like, if you are actually in a relationship with someone and you guys, this is what you guys do consistently, like on the man's perception. But, so if he's like, I'm fucking you, I'm coming in you, but the aftermath is always plan B, right? That's something you guys have the conversation for. Like, she don't feel comfortable with birth control or anything like that, but plan B works. And if every time you come in her, that's the expectation as far as
that it was sent to his house.
Yeah, he got mad at her for getting
He got mad that he got it. So I feel like
he didn't want her to get a plan.
I feel like he likes her, and they get in a fight, and he's like, "Fuck her," but the last thing I'm gonna do is act like I care about a bitch. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he gets on there like, "Oh no." Because that's why she's
there's just clearly some up and downs. Cause like, so to just my perspective, right? It's a little different. It's actually a lot different from y'all's perspective, right? Not to say I'm right. I'll just say you guys are wrong or right, whatever the case may be. But like, if that's the case. Right, like if he like came at her or whatever, he wanted her to have a plan B or vice versa, or didn't want to, right? That's a different conversation.
Yeah,
we're arguing a way different conversation. So
both of them are arguing different.
If that's the case,
right? Like that's allegedly that's what started the whole shit is because he was pissed off that she got a plan B behind his back.
Because she was like, "You're not gonna be fucking me, other girls, and the baby mama," and then he, you know, and she does have. I'm not.
So like she wouldn't want to be baby mama too.
But he's saying he's saying out the mouth that she is the baby mama already. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But another baby. But he's saying that
he's
saying that she trapped. He's saying that she tried to trap her. He trapped her, and it's not gonna keep me. But you're coming her nurse still. So it's just like, you know, it's a lot of.
I did hear her say you came at me yesterday. So
last night.
Right. She's like he's mad that. Let's be real. You're mad that the plan B came in. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I feel like he just tried to keep his player role or whatever. But I do feel like sometimes.
So she ordered the plan Bs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. I'm wrong, guys. Calvin's wrong. I'm out of here. No, guys. As a man, I have nothing else to say. I'm out of here. Goodbye, guys.
Hold on. Let me say one thing. So I'm gonna go back to what you were saying. Let's throw up the situation where maybe she did get physical with him, right? So you're going back to his protection, and you were kind of saying how you feel like
Calvin's wrong.
He was trying to embarrass and humiliate her. Right. No. I'm not. I get that, but I'm just talking about those specific points.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. To me, there's also when he was on live, you could see that his brother had a camera out too. So if his brother, he didn't need his
belittling.
He didn't need to go on live.
The next day, everybody was safe.
In the room.
Everybody was safe.
That's not the truth because
everybody was. There was also a woman.
We've experienced a lot of different things. There's another woman that's in the photo, right? But doesn't have his assistant is there as well.
Was there, and
the brother was laughing. They weren't like a situation like calm down. It was just like
wasn't she saying like, isn't he a good dad? Like y'all see?
No, because she said something slick out his mouth, and she's probably a manager. Like no,
that's
you're not like that on social media.
But
Calvin's wrong.
That's just
hey, Calvin's wrong. Once again, Calvin's wrong.
No. Look, check it out. If you were in a room with your girl, she gets upset. You have your brother and your assistant in the room. I'm pretty sure between the three of y'all can handle one female.
His first sentence on the live was specifically to say, "I ain't throw nobody out. She's still here." So he's basically saying that she's still crazy. She's still here. Get her about that. So it's a belittling fact. It's just to degrade her and disclaim her.
Calvin's wrong.
Yes,
I don't know anything.
To make it look like that this bitch is a problem.
Like and she very well may be.
And it could have been
and also on top of that, let me talk. So also this happened the day before, and it spilled into the next day.
Right.
So if it happens at 3 a.m. at that point, whose fault is it? If this shit started the day before,
I feel like it was too much going on because if it started the day before, and then on the live she also says you came to me yesterday. Like y'all so y'all arguing and then fucking, y'all arguing and then fuck, and then now
there's nothing wrong with what happened with them. The only thing that was wrong was that it was the cum. It went on live.
It was the person that shot Megan Thee Stallion's foot.
No, that's cool. You need to go. There's nothing wrong with what happened. It doesn't matter what they did the night before. It doesn't matter anything. That night was the issue. I just feel like
they could have kept it off live.
No, the only issue is that she brought it on live, but her intentions, he had intentions the next day to belittle, and it was wrong, but she had intentions to bash him and said that he left and he called the cops on his baby mother and his 3-month child. She did it intentionally to bash him so the whole world can hate him.
Okay, so
it doesn't matter what they went through.
So hold on,
give a fuck because nobody gives a fuck. It's just that he was trying to save his image and he probably got, besides stuff he's
so that's something that I didn't know. So she went on live first.
She started the live. She said the word nigga and everything. She was just like, she was like, hold up, look at these cops, and then the cops were trying to talk to her. She was like, no, fuck that nigga, and she was just.
Was it on her live? Like everything happened on her live.
Like she started it like.
So he came onto her live.
Right, and held it after. And she was like, give me my phone. Because he held it after. She went to.
Your boy Calvin knows nothing. He doesn't.
But yes, it all did start because of a plan B. Because she wanted.
He said he
let that girl get her plan B.
No, but I understand him. Like, you can't have the world bash you because he called the cops. Because I understand the stigma of don't call the cops on your relationship, especially if you're black, especially if you're, you know what I'm saying? Because what happens? But sometimes a motherfucker needs the cops called on him or her, and I will always I don't care if she raised her voice, bitch. I'm not gonna stop him. I need to make a report just in case. Can you write down the apartment number just in case I call? You can already.
Yeah, I'm not doubting it. If a situation gets out of control,
right?
Call them because I need somebody here to witness that I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. So both of them going live.
All Calvin wanted to do was protect the male stigma.
It was stupid.
All I wanted to do is just make sure men are represented on this podcast today.
Something like that. It's the baby. It's not I'm with somebody right now who
With the baby, he acting like a baby.
I'm with somebody right now, and they have a pass, and they also have a social media standing to where they are.
How do you feel about
comedian. Let me tell you.
How do you feel about the person that's been on this podcast before, but we're not talking about we're not saying their name?
My Facebook comedian friend. I've been friends with her for years, so I know who she is. I've never not known who she is. She's been barking up my tree, and I'll be like, go away. Go home, Roger.
Wait, rewind. Barking up what tree?
Listen. So but half of it was because I was married, but it was also before, she's just always been there. She's always been a part of our game. But then she's also, went to my significant others and be like, you got a bad one, you better treat her right, you know what I'm saying? But I thought she was kidding, because she's funny. She's a Facebook comedian. But
shout out to that person that we won't name. She's an amazing person. She pulled up here, shook my hand.
My favorite game.
You want to know what episode that was? It's the sex talk episode that we had before.
But she is a Facebook comedian.
One of them.
And she does.
The first one we did.
Stop explaining who we're talking. I'm trying to be discreet as hell.
I said the name, y'all.
She already said the name.
All right, shout out to CC. Shout out to my homie CC.
My favorite gang member. So, at the beginning, she barked up the tree and I didn't take it serious or whatever. But then, when I came back in June after my birthday, after the whole leaving, and so we just started hanging out instead of pulling up and clinking cups. We would ride together and clink cup with the whole gang. But then she actually was and she told me one time, it was me. I'm the one that crossed the line because she always told me date and whatever. And she's like, I value myself. I used to do that, but she's like, nobody deserves me. You know what I'm saying? She'd always say that. And then I gave her the first kiss because that was kind of what do you mean? But it was she'd always be she's a Facebook comedian. And she's a dog. But it's, what I'm saying, she's just funny. Everyone knows how to give her dogs. Yeah, she's just she has been there.
You're always in Facebook jail.
Yeah, but it's different because she actually has she has more of a sex life than me, than my past. I'm not a casual fucker, but I'm not gonna put down anybody who has. But she is
a casual fucker. She
is because she feels I'm not gonna give somebody my time. I'm not gonna take them on dates or anything like that. I'm gonna get a nut, and I feel like your vagina is your most prizable temple. So why would I give you that? So I understood. It took me a while. And I had to learn that what people see on social media, they just won't ever see what she's given to me or what she's been to me. Mm-hmm. And it used to frustrate me. And, I used to get so riled up. But then I just started to accept it because I was just I started to be behind the scenes because I was just
let people think whatever they want.
Right. Because she's big dog out there and she needs to be. She always respects me. She's respecting me more than, she has the most chivalry and everything. Like, she's a really, really good woman. And she could, she has a standing out there. Yeah, I love her. I love you.
I wish she was still, wish she had to go. Because she's supposed to be on the podcast last week.
Y'all, you replied late. I'm not going to hold you.
Listen, my DMs is wild. There's a lot of stuff in there.
I know one thing, she better not miss out on that mac and cheese for Saturday.
I talked to her for a week so she could put a foot in it.
I don't care if you there or not. Just bring the mac and cheese. Bring your dish.
But yeah, it's different dating somebody who's had more of a past. But it's either they're gonna show you. That's what I'm saying. You can't get upset because some people are gonna change for you and they're gonna be completely different.
Just see, I don't have a butt, so it don't take much for it to start.
But yeah.
How'd you experience? How was this? Is this your first podcast?
Yes, and it feels good. Okay,
virginity.
So Sunday, I think Monday we went to Fleming Steakhouse or whatever, and I just felt so emotional because I told you.
That's my place.
Yeah, I told you that I've been given stuff to be spoiled to say sorry. And that was a Monday, and it was let's do some bougie shit, and I want to see you dress up. So I noticed the difference in her over time of how she does stuff to just genuinely be happy rather than to say sorry. So it just had me in my feels.
Oh, that's a bar. Say that again.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
You said you met someone who genuinely is happy doing things versus making you feel sorry or being sorry about something.
Being sorry, yeah, doing things to make me happy because they want.
That's a bar.
Yeah, to be happy, right? And that's her whole life. That's our whole love life story. But yeah, so I just felt so passionate, and we had a few drinks, so. And the baby and that topic kept coming up, and then
I was what the baby?
Yeah, no, the topic kept coming up, and I was just I need to tell my story. And I haven't talked in a long time because I've been discreet. I ain't been, public, and nobody knows. So they'll see me with my ex-wife, and they'll see me with her, or so they'll see me in Austin. They'll see me with my ex-wife, so they'll see the house.
Keep the mystery alive. I love it.
Right.
Me not knowing you at all, just weren't you married yesterday?
Exactly.
I be popping up like a Pop-Tart.
And I don't think I'm I'm pretty humble, but I have a following. I have some people that tune in. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that was just I was gonna write it, and I was gonna give my opinion, how everybody do on Facebook. This is my opinion. That's it. I don't care.
Yeah.
And do a bunch of paragraphs, and then she sent me your status that was just podcast about topics. She was that'd be a great time. And I was that sure does beat typing on this shit.
The podcast is so lit. I'm telling you, when she was on
it,
it was the perfect time. She
on this little tea.
Yeah. Good.
So as far as your experience here with the Can We Talk podcast, has it been great? Has it been different since it's your first time with a podcast?
It's been amazing, but it's also been kind of comfortable because I'm a talkative person. I have a bright energy. Probably the worst thing was just cutting over people. Punch. I'm hold on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty dope. Like I said, I want to branch into all my talents that I was I'm not gonna act like she just controlled my world, but I loved her so much that I wanted to be, I wanted to make her happy, but it also involved dimming my light. Yeah. And so that was just unfortunate, and a lot of people seen it or whatever, and so I'm glad that I am venturing to everything, and y'all look out for me. You never know, it might be on YouTube. And I'm also opening one of these little swap and trade, vintage clothings with one of my friends, and all these other things that I can venture.
And you're gonna be out here selling $1 million homes.
Yeah, and then in the springtime, I'm also selling fans, so you can go outside and be, the Oriental fans, but they'll be more for our generation and our steves. I just have a lot more ideas, and I just need to branch into them.
See, I like this side of you.
Right.
This is the side that's just you can definitely see the light. Vibrant. You can see the aura, and like you said, don't let anyone take away that light. Yeah. Don't let anyone dim that light, because now these ideas are you're getting it's different because you're getting inspiration from positivity.
Right, and it's your responses from people around you. This is ooh, but then if I do it around her, it'd kind of be oh well, who's it with? And I'd be girl, never mind. I don't want to go no more. But yeah, it was super fun.
Tag anything that you have going on right now.
Or where
actually
they can find you.
Yeah.
Anything exactly.
I should have been more prepared. I should have actually made some time. No, yeah, but I'll be back again, so that then I'll have more tags. Cause, like I said, this is all very recent. So like that's when I felt like, you know, it was just, I don't know, it was just, I don't know if it was God or just like the perfect timing. Like I was telling her I'm a vent, but I was like, I'm gonna write it out, and like you tell me if it's too much, cause I don't want to like give too much. Cause when you write a life story on Facebook, sometimes it's just like, you know, this isn't for that. It's for successful moments and memes. But I was gonna do it anyways because I wanted to get it off my chest. But this was way better,
more therapeutic.
Because I was like, you know, I can even go online. I was like, I don't even want to do that. I was just like, how do I do it? And then you did this, and I was just like, it was exactly the topic I wanted to talk about because it resonated within me. And it was just like, I felt like a lot of people weren't looking at the things like, you know, it's okay for people to call the cops. And it's okay, it doesn't matter because, you know, just like he called the cops on a 3-month-old baby with a baby mama. She started something that made her get the cops called on her with a 3-month-old baby, you know? Like, you also were into something that was like, you know, escalating, and you played into that. And you weren't thinking about your baby, but they don't want to hear that.
He was thinking about the baby.
Right. Like, what about your baby? What about your baby? Shit. Like,
does anybody think that was a publicity stunt?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because I think she's actually getting played.
Maybe for him. Maybe for her.
I seen her.
I think didn't she get charged with something? Like some physical stuff?
Really?
Simple assault.
Yeah.
What is that?
Girl,
What's simple assault? She's like, what I do every day?
All these are simple assault. Because the way I hit somebody one time.
Right.
It should have been.
Tell yourself. Jesus Christ.
I wish they would telling me. I'm going to tell them.
I'm going to bring that up.
Brittany, do we have our quote?
Simple assault.
What's our quote, guys? We're about to end it out.
He did say, real quick, on the live, I think he did say, go stream my new, because he had a new album.
Yes, he used a new song coming out or something,
or a new album just came out or something. So I'm like, maybe it was publicity.
It might be.
You know,
He's just young.
I definitely know we were on our way back from Houston, and my cousin was like, everything started popping off. She was like, well, I heard the new album is fire. Let me go listen to it. She listened to it.
Actually, she did. I think she posted something about the album too.
But I think a lot more people wouldn't want to listen to it after this.
No, I think she posted something about the new album.
I bet she did, because I bet you he fucked her, and then they
and she said I'm on song number 6 or 5 or something.
That is, you know what? They own us something, because now I want to go listen to song 6.
Yeah, she said there was going to be a song with like.
But for celebrities, they say any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah,
like,
until you're getting canceled on shows.
We're doing exactly what we're doing right now. We're talking about them. You know what I'm saying? So they're getting publicity.
He got canceled off a few shows, though.
I didn't even know about the baby till y'all said something about the baby.
Girl, you always be like, Bop put it in the club. Stop it.
I didn't even know that was him.
Oh, touche. I don't really know artists. I know their songs.
This is the end.
All right. So our quote of the day, we are talking just, you know, going with the conversation that we had today and growth and everything. I kind of wanted to pull up a quote that kind of aligns with that. So the quote of the day is, attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, and mirror what you admire.
All right.
I like it.
This is the Can We Talk podcast.
Episode 32. This once again is the Can We Talk podcast, episode 32. We're out of here. We had Bella in the building.
Yay.
We have some pictures we need to take as well. I'm glad you enjoy your experience. I'm glad you guys are here as well.
And everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, we won't be dropping another episode until after Thanksgiving. We will record on Tuesday, but we won't drop an episode on Thursday because Thursday is Thanksgiving. You guys enjoy the rest of your night.
Wait, one more thing.
Oh, what?
It is Thanksgiving, so I am thankful for all of y'all in the room. So I'm thankful for you guys. Thankful for this podcast family. Thankful for my friend Bella. So thankful for y'all guys.
Cheers.
And thankful to y'all listeners. Thank y'all.
I don't have anything left, guys.
We love you.
Gang.
Right.